Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gemstone Yoga. My name is Lexi, and today I have a wonderful sunrise yoga flow for you. We are going to build some heat in the body and work our way up to camel pose, where we will open our heart, open our chest, and really invite feelings of gratitude for the day. So that's our theme for class today, inviting in and sending out gratitude. We will do this by exploring our peak pose of camel. So we will need some props for class today if you have them handy. 2 blocks are always great. A strap will be handy today, and maybe a folded up blanket or towel would be great too. All right, if that's it, let's get started. Meet me on your mat. We're going to get started a little differently today. We're going to get started in hero's pose. So I want you to come onto your shins. Go ahead and grab a block to start out with, unless you have really flexible quadriceps. Place at least one block in between your ankles. Once you have that block placed, sit firmly. Try to keep those knees squeezed together, squeezing the inner thighs together, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. If this is too intense on your quads, add one more block. You can go ahead and close your eyes just for a moment as we roll our shoulders up, back, and down. Sending out gratitude for this beautiful day, for this opportunity to partake in a sunrise yoga flow. And in turn, opening the heart to receiving that same gratitude coming your way. One more big breath in. And exhale, sigh and let something go. Great job. Go ahead and flutter your eyes open. Let's get started. Sweep the arms up. We're going to interlace the fingers above the head and flip the palms up towards the sky. You can kind of reach towards the sky, peeling the shoulders away from the ears, knitting the rib cage in, trying to get that belly button to the spine, sitting up nice and tall and long. Breathing in. Breathing out. We're going to breathe in, and on the exhale, I want you to maintain your even positioning on the blocks, but bend towards your right. All right, let's do it together. Breathe in, and exhale, bend towards the right. Nice side bend. You should be feeling a really nice opening along the left side of your body, but also a core activation. You can spin and rotate your chest open towards the sky. Letting light in, letting more space in. One more breath in. And release, come back to center. Breathe in. And breathe out, bend towards the left. Spinning that chest open towards the sky. Breathing in. And breathing out, maybe finding a little bit more space with every breath. One more big breath in, and go ahead and release. Great job. Let's take a gentle twist. So we're going to take our left hand to our right knee. Right hand goes behind you. Inhale, and exhale, gently twist towards the right. Sitting up nice and tall, finding length through the spine and the neck. Maybe finding a little bit of a deeper twist with every breath. And come back to center, other side. Right arm, left knee, left arm behind you. Inhale. And exhale, twist towards the left. I highly recommend you taking the sunrise yoga flow outside when you get the chance. There's something so wonderful about connecting our mind, body, and spirit with the earth. One more big breath in. And breathe out. Come back to center. Great job. Let's warm up our wrists really quick. So let's go ahead and just do a couple quick wrist circles. And then what I want you to do is come off of your block, put that to the side for a moment. I'll face you this way, and I want you to flip one palm at a time so that your fingers are facing your knees. You can do 2 hands at a time if this is okay for you, but if that's too intense, let's just take it one at a time. We're just going to get a nice, quick wrist stretch in before we begin our flow. You can pulse back and forth like I'm doing if this feels good. You can find stillness. Just listen to your body. And come back to center. Let's switch sides if you were doing one arm at a time. Again, pulsing. This feels so good on the back of the forearm. And come back to stillness. Now let's take our palms together and point our fingers to the outside edges of the mat and press side to side. This really gets kind of a unique portion of the wrist that we don't stretch very often, but it feels very good once we do. This can be a little intense, so just judge as you go. You know your body. We won't be here for very long. Great job. Now we're going to switch to have the palm of our hand facing up. Again, you can do this one at a time or 2 at a time. And we're just going to slowly pulse back with this one because this is pretty intense. Great job. When you're ready, find stillness. Meet me in a tabletop position. So we want to make sure that our wrists are underneath our shoulders and our knees are underneath our hips. We're going to take a couple rounds of cat-cow. So I want you to press your palms into the mat, roll your shoulders up, back, and down, arching the back, pressing away from the mat, finding your cow pose. On the exhale, pressing away from the mat, pressing through the tops of the feet, rounding the spine, finding your cat pose. Inhale, arching the back, looking towards the sky, cow pose. Exhale, pressing away, rounding the spine, cat pose. Go ahead and do this a couple more times at your own pace. I also want you to listen to your body right now. If there's any organic movements that you want to take, maybe some side to sides, or some hip circles, or just stillness, maybe a child's pose, any of those are great with me, whatever your body needs right now. Whatever you are doing, let's go ahead and meet in stillness in 3, 2, and 1. Meet me back in a tabletop. Great job. All right, let's extend our right leg back and pulse back so that we get a nice calf stretch on that right leg. Waking those muscles up, getting them firing. And come to stillness. Engage the core, knit the ribs in, pull the belly button towards the spine, and lift that back leg. Breathe in, squaring the hips. Breathe out. When you're ready and stable, I want you to lift your left arm up to find balancing table. Couple breaths here, really engaging the core. Now, before we drop, if you can, give me a thumbs up, bend that back leg, and see if you can grab on to get a little bit of a warm-up quad stretch. No worries if you can't do this. Just meet me back in stillness. Great job, you guys. All right, other side, left leg. Extends back, pulse. Warming up those calf muscles. On the other side. And come to stillness. Great job. Engage the ribs, knit the ribs in, engage the core, square the hips, and lift that back left leg. Breathe in and breathe out. When you're ready, stabilize. Lift your right arm up, find balancing table. Now, if you're coming with me for that quick quad stretch, that's hard to say, go ahead and bend that back leg, give me a thumbs up, and catch that back foot. Nice, gentle quad stretch, and release, everybody meeting me in stillness in tabletop. Great job, you guys. Let's take a wide child's pose. So knees wide, toes together, booty back onto the heels. You can create a little pillow with your hands if you'd like. You can extend your hands straight out in front of you. Whatever you prefer, whatever you're most natural and most comfortable in is what I want you to do. I want you to take note of where your mind is at right now and ask yourself, are you open to giving and receiving gratitude? If that answer's no, then let's work on that. If the answer's yes, then great, you'll be even more open after class. One more big breath in. And breathe out. Great job. Come on up. Let's all meet in a downward facing dog. So I want you to flex your feet, press your booty back and up, wrap the biceps forward, put a micro bend in your arms, step the feet back. You can pedal out your feet, relax the head and neck, let it go, and press the chest as close to the thighs as you can get. Warming up the body, again, getting those calves, just really firing all the muscles that are going to get us through our day. When you're ready, let's find stillness. Drop that head and neck, take all the weight out of it. Shake it yes, shake it no. Let's all raise up on our tippy toes together and release the heels back to the mat. 2 more times just like that. Tippy toes and back to the mat. And last time, tippy toes and back to the mat. Great job. I want you to look forward, slowly begin to walk your feet up towards the top of your mat. Once you reach the top of your mat, put a big bend in your knees, grab opposite elbows, release your head and neck, and just dangle. Take all the weight out of your head, neck, shoulders, all of that. Just rock side to side. Great job. Release your grip. Put a big bend into your legs. Rest the chest onto your knees. And then slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, I want you to roll up until you are at a stand. Finding your mountain pose, Tadasana. Great job. All right, let's build some heat in the body. We're going to move through Sun Salutation A twice and Sun Salutation B once. All righty. Sweep the arms up and forward fold. Find your halfway lift. You can also use blocks here. Forward fold. We're going to step our right foot back this time. Low lunge. Left leg meets it for plank. Shift forward and lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Roll the shoulders back, pressing up, finding your cobra pose. Releasing back to the mat, finding your downward facing dog. Taking a breath in and breathe out. Look forward, walk your feet towards the top of the mat, finding your forward fold. Halfway lift, neutral spine, forward fold. Reverse swan dive, arms up, and hands to heart center. Great job. One more time, just like that. Sweep the arms up and forward fold. Halfway lift, forward fold. We're going to bend the legs, send our left leg back this time, low lunge. Right leg meets it for plank. Shift forward and lower all the way to the mat. Untuck the toes, wrap the shoulders back, pressing up, finding your baby back bend, cobra pose, and pressing back into the mat. Downward facing dog. And breathe. Look forward. Walk your feet towards the top of your mat, finding your forward fold. Halfway lift, forward fold. Sweep the arms up and hands to heart center. All right, great job. Let's spice it up a little bit. Meet me in a chair pose, forward fold, halfway lift, forward fold. This time we're just gonna step back into a downward facing dog. We're gonna center our left foot, lift the right leg, three-legged dog, sweep that foot through, planting it in between the palms, ground that back foot about 45 degrees, sweeping the arms up, finding your warrior one. Release the arms back to the mat. Right leg meets left for plank. Shift forward, lower halfway this time for chaturanga. Shift forward into upward facing dog, squeezing the thighs, squeezing the kneecaps, and flip into downward facing dog. Breathing in. Breathing out. We're going to center our right foot this time. Lift the left, three-legged dog, sweep that left leg through, planting it in between the palms. Drop that right foot this time. Find your warrior one and release back to the mat. Left leg meets the right for plank. Shift forward, lower halfway, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Great job. Okay, are you guys ready to flow? Let's get into it. So center that left foot again. Lift the right leg for three-legged dog. This time I want you to bend the knee and open up the hip. Really get into that quad, inner thigh, just all the juicy muscles. Great job. Sweep that right leg through, Plant it in between your palms. Drop the left leg, untuck the toe. Come up, square your hips. Coming into our crescent lunge. We want to make sure our hips are square, shoulders are away from the ears, and breathe. One more breath in. On the exhale, I want you to cactus the arms, find a baby back bend here. Engaging the core, finding stability, and release back to your crescent. Now we're going to find a low bind. So I want you to interlace your hands behind your back. You can walk your foot out to the corner of your mat for a little bit more stability. Find that low bind and open up the chest. Breathing in. Every little bobble, every little micro movement means progress. And release. Great job. Go ahead and grab your blocks if you have them handy. We're going to extend this front right leg, pull the right hip back in space, squaring the hips, finding our half splits. I want you to breathe in and hinge at the hips, keeping the spine nice and long. We're not rounding over. We want to be nice and long throughout the spine. Breathing in. And breathing out, finding your edge and maybe going a teensy bit past it with every breath. Great job. Go ahead and ditch your blocks. You can put those aside for now. Come back into your low crescent lunge and release your palms back to the mat. Lift that back leg, right leg meets it. Let's flow through our first vinyasa. Shift forward, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Great job, you guys. All right, other side. Center that right foot, lift the left leg, bend and open the hip on that left side, releasing the heel towards the mat. You can do some hip circles if that feels good. Any organic movement that your body's asking for. Sweep that left foot through, planting it in between the palms. Drop the back knee, untuck the toe. Lift your arms up, finding your crescent lunge on the other side. Again, feel free to heel toe the left foot towards the outer edge of the mat to find a little bit more stability. Breathe in. Breathe out. I want you to take a big deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to find our cactus arms. Baby back bend. Finding stability, even amongst the micro movements and the bobbles. And release back to our crescent lunge. Release the arms. We're going to find that bind. Interlace the fingers behind your back. Press the palms together and press your shoulder blades together, getting a nice big chest opener. Feeling your heart open. Ready to take on the day. One more breath in. And release your arms. Come back. Go ahead and grab your blocks if you had those handy. Place them to the sides of your foot. Square your hips. Pull that left hip back in space. Take a nice big breath in. And exhale, hinge at the hips. Keeping that spine nice and long, folding forward into our half splits. Breathing into the pretty intense stretch that's happening along your hamstring. Sending space to it, spacious thoughts. Breathing through any discomfort. One more breath in. And breathe out. Great job. Let's ditch our props and flow through your vinyasa. Left leg meets right foot plank. Shift forward. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Great job. Let's spice it up a little bit. Left leg centers, right leg lifts up. Bend and open that hip again. Maybe add some hip circles if that feels nice. This time we're going to take our leg, swing it up, and find our high lunge. Push up on those back toes, lifting up, same as our crescent, maintaining a long neutral spine. Shoulders are away from the ears, hips are square. You can heel toe that foot out to get more stability. Breathing in, breathing out. One more breath in. On the exhale, finding that cactus opening up, finding that baby back bend. Filling the heart with gratitude. And release back to center. Go ahead and drop that back foot 90 degrees so that it's parallel with the edge of your mat, coming into our warrior two. You want the center of you want your heel to intersect the center of your back foot. Shoulder blades are together. Arms are extended out, standing nice and proud and tall and confident. Breathe in. Breathe out. We're going to flip the front palm, reach forward, and then find our reverse warrior. Breathing in. And breathing out. Now we're going to extend the right leg straight to find our reverse triangle. A little bit more intense of a side stretch. And breathe out. Great job. We're going to come into triangle pose now. So if you want to grab a block, go ahead and have one on the inside of your right ankle. We're going to shift our hips back, reach forward as far as we can until we land on our block. Pretending like we're stuck between two walls. Breathing in, breathing out, maintaining a steady breath. One more breath in. And breathe out. Come back to your warrior two. Great job. And cartwheel the arms down. Go ahead and ditch your props. And flow through your vinyasa. Shift forward, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. All right, other side. Right leg centers, left leg lifts up. Bend and open that hip. Drop the right heel towards the mat. And maybe give me some hip circles. Whatever feels good. And sweep that left leg through, planting it in between the palms, lifting up on the back toes, coming up, finding your crescent lunge. Breathing in, breathing out. Steadying the breath. Take a big inhale On the exhale, we're going to cactus our arms, opening the chest, opening the heart, finding that cactus chest opener. And release back to center. Great job. We're going to drop that back foot so that it's parallel to the back of the mat. Come into your warrior two. Press your knee out as far as you can. Shoulder blades are together. Shoulders are peeled away from the ears, looking past the fingertips. Flip that front left palm, reach forward, and find your reverse warrior. Extend that front left leg, reverse triangle. And when you're ready, come into triangle pose. Shifting your hip back, reach, 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 reach as far as you can. If you need a block on the inside of your left foot, that's great. Coming up and finding triangle pose. One more big breath in. And breathe out. Great job, guys. Go ahead and ditch the prop. Come back up, warrior two, and cartwheel your arms down. Meet me in a plank and flow through your vinyasa. Great job. Okay, so you can go ahead and meet me just on your knees. We're going to work our way into camel pose now. But first, I want to go ahead and get into cow face pose. So a couple different ways we can approach this. If you know you have really tight quads, then I want you to do a one-legged cow face pose. So that's going to mean you're going to extend one leg and have the other crossed over so that your knees are stacked on top of one another, but you're not necessarily in the full expression of the pose. If you're coming with me and trying the full expression, if your hips are open, your quads are open enough, I want you to go ahead and take your right leg over your left, widen your legs, sit back, and see if you can stack your knees on top of one another. Pretty intense hip opener. You got this. Just breathe through it. Breathe into any sticky spots. Now, when you're ready, we're going to take our right arm up. Left arm is going to swing around. Back of the palm touches the back of your back. And you're going to try to clasp your hands like so. So, the full cow face pose will look a little something, your variation of this. So we're getting a really intense shoulder opener, really intense chest opener, really getting in those hips. It's all around just a great pose to wake up the day. Breathing in, remember, we can sit through any type of discomfort. We just have to learn how to sit with it. So if in this moment you're like, get me out, just breathe through it. Exhale and let those feelings go. One more breath in. And exhale, release everything. Great job. Okay, so other side. We're going to cross left leg over right, stacking the knees on top of one another. If you're doing the one leg out in front, just make sure that you have that extended and your knees are stacked. All right. Let's get into other side. This side is so much tighter, as you will find. You will always have one side that is got a mind of its own. All right, so let's go ahead and take the left arm. This is my very tight shoulder too. Left arm back, right arm sweeps around and try to grab. I actually can't reach on this side, so I'm gonna grab a strap. This is great. What you can do is pull the strap down, like hold it normal, drop it back, and then just like you would if you were trying to grab your hand, you're just gonna walk your hand up the strap. Breathing in. breathing through the discomfort. One more big breath in. And release. Great job. All right, you guys, let's work up to camel. I want you to grab your blocks. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through a couple different variations. So what we're all going to start with is I want you to put your blocks on the highest height outside of your ankle bones. First off, we're simply going to start by putting the hands at the base of our spine, kind of by our sacrum. We're going to take a big deep breath in, press the chest forward, release the ears from the shoulders, breathe in, and on the exhale, we're going to press forward, bending back, finding that back bend, but going at our own pace. Your arms are there to support you. Now, if you feel comfortable, go ahead and drop one arm to a block. Doesn't matter which way they're facing, whatever way is comfortable for you. If it feels accessible, you can go ahead and drop both arms to blocks. In this case, if you are in the pose, we want to make sure you're breathing, squeezing the glutes, finding our camel without dropping our head back. We want to make sure we are looking forward or up at least, always looking ahead. And when you're ready, slowly, maybe one arm at a time, come back and you can have a seat on your heels. Kind of roll it out a little bit if that feels good. We're going to do that one more time, whatever variation you are at. If you don't need blocks either, go straight for the heels. I still like to use blocks. All right, one more time. Let's take a big deep breath in all together. Hands at our sacrum and breathe out, pressing our hips forward, bending back. When you're ready, find your blocks and find your camel pose. Feeling your heart open with this pose as you take in love and gratitude and extend it to others as well. One more breath in. And release, come on down, slowly come out of the pose and put your blocks to the side for now. We will use them one more time. Great job. I hope you are feeling more gratitude and kindness and compassion and ready to pay it forward and receive it all day. All right, go ahead and meet me on your back for some finishing poses. Gonna lay nice and flat. Come into a nice tiny little ball. Squeeze the knees into the chest. Curl and roll your nose to touch your knees. Breathe in and release back to the mat. You can do a couple rolls if that feels nice on your back after that camel pose and all the little back bends we've done. But when you're ready, come to stillness and plant your feet on the mat. We want to be able to tickle the heels with our fingers. So you want your feet a little bit wider than hips width distance. We're going to press into the mat and come into a bridge. So press into your palms and into your feet. Squeeze the glutes. Ready? Inhale. And exhale, pressing, coming into our bridge pose. This is another heart opener, inversion actually. Sending blood to our brain, energizing us for the day. And release, come back down. Squeeze the knees into the chest one more time. And slowly come down. I want you to grab your blocks now. And we're gonna set up for fish pose, which will lead us into our Shavasana. So go ahead and take one block at its medium height underneath your shoulder blades. Yeah. And then we're gonna take this other block, and you can have it at whatever height works for you. Medium height works for me, and it's going to go on the base of my skull. Finding your fish pose. This is a great release for the back. You can extend the legs, rest the arms, and just breathe into the pose. Melting into the mat. Opening your heart and envisioning a light, a ray of sunshine, beaming in and beaming back out at others. You're more than welcome to stay here for Shavasana. If you would like to just take a traditional Shavasana, please do so. You can remove your blocks if you would like to join me in that. We're going to take about a minute Shavasana together, and then we will meet in the seat when you hear the sound of my voice. Relaxing into the mat, letting the effects of your practice soak in, and taking note of where your mind is at right now. No right or wrong answers, just where it's at. When you're ready, you can slowly begin to come back into your space, back into your awareness. Maybe wiggle the fingers or the toes, and maybe stretch nice and tall. When you're ready, roll to one side and meet me in a seated position. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to practice with you today, and for allowing me to help you find more gratitude in the world and hopefully start your day off on the right foot. Until next time, be well, shine bright. Namaste.